are incredibly supportive people. So supportive, in fact, that at 16, when I told them that I was dropping out of high school to move in with my boyfriend, they easily agreed and sent me on my way. My parents are models of living human ecology. Their knowledge of the world is based on an innate understanding of the land, of the other living biota they tend and share the world with, and their social and political connection to their community. To them, me dropping out of my junior year of high school meant I was simply joining the school of life. Miraculously, I went back to finish high school. But even then, I never thought I would go on to pursue higher education. I thought college was for the affluent, for the elite, and for people obviously far smarter than myself. Then, about 5 years ago, something happened. I distinctly remember it as a time when I realized that honesty is the value I hold most important in life. With that realization came the insight that the only person I was lying to was myself. I had convinced myself that I was not smart, was not capable, was not graceful, and in many ways that I was worthless. I was sure that only people far more intelligent and graceful than myself went to college. At 23, a non-traditional student by popular standards, I decided I wanted to make more out of my life. The decision to come to college, something taken for granted by so many, took a huge amount of courage for me. Even after a full freshman year of friends, of success, and of keeping up with my work, I wondered still if I had faked my way through. Now, 4 years later, I try to look back and recall the person who I was scared of living up to her potential, and I am reminded that we all face challenges and moments of self-doubt. What would life be without those moments? I truly believe that beyond the things that are inevitable in life, illness, gray hair, goodbyes, beyond all those things, we have the power to shape our own realities. Life is about how we view ourselves and how we interpret the world we reside in. Looking at a Monet up close, it is a blurred mess of random strokes. Change your frame of reference, and it becomes ordered beauty. Who we become is about the different ways in which we understand and respond to events in this life. And each one of us has the opportunity to step back and examine the canvas before us from different angles. There is no better proof of that multiplicity of perspectives than in the programs in your hands. Reading over them, seeing the many different senior projects is like looking at a great quilt of human ecology. Not one of us has worked in isolation on these projects. The artists sought feedback from the botanists, the scientists from the philosophers, the gardeners from the ornithologists. From bioluminescence to children's camps to brewing craft beer to studying plastic particulates in Frenchman Bay, these projects are glimpses into how each of us perceives our surroundings and express our autonomy in a sea of ever-increasing homogeneity. I, for one, feel so blessed to have shared these past 4 years with you. Just imagine how much has happened in the rapidly changing world since we began this journey. Although much of it could cause a person to give up and retreat into the woods to wait out the extinction of our species, standing here today, I truly believe there is still so much hope. In the past 4 years, the U.S. elected its first African-American president who supports gay marriage. We witnessed an uprising in the Middle East and Northern Africa that displaced leaders who've been in power since before we were born. A senator from Arizona survived a point-blank gunshot wound to the head, only to walk back onto the floor of Congress 7 months later. And out of all of this, COA elected its first alumni president. A good sign, my friends, that if all else fails with this degree in human ecology, we can always come back and find jobs here. With my closing time here upon this stage, at this institution, on this island in Maine, with all of you, my friends, my family, my great tree of support, I would like to offer a small bit of gratitude to those branches that have held me up and fostered my own internal success. It would be far too easy to simply recognize those of you who are most obvious: faculty, parents, advisors, trustees, fellow students. You know you have changed our lives, and for that we owe a deep debt. It is to those often forgotten corners of our lives that I would like to recognize, to the staff of this institution, to the most nurturing, good-spirited, and loudest librarians I have ever met. To the building and grounds crew with your ever-present kind nature and your band of tricksters. To this town, to my neighbors and friends, to Fred, the 4-year-old I babysat every week over the past 4 years, you remind me not to take myself too seriously. And lastly, to the land that surrounds us here. These mountains have become like old friends whose backs I trek up onto to find reprieve. Like great sleeping granite giants, they have kept me grounded. And each of us, as each of us crosses this stage today, going forward with the tools we take, I ask you to remember the words of Mary Ann Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be?